Now, we've got to look at what we were being asked back in our original problem. The original problem said to find the rate Justin was paddling. And actually, the rate he's paddling, I've erased this, but it's just the x. X is his, speed paddling. And so all we've got to do is just take our x. So can I keep both of these answers? Can't have negative paddling speed. So he's paddling at 4 miles per hour. He's paddling at 4 miles per hour. Okay, we're going to look at number 5 and set this one up and not work it, because I hope we'll have some time left for you to have one to do by yourself. And this one I want us to do together. Number 5 is a commercial jet can fly 550 miles per hour in calm air. Traveling with the wind, the plane flew 2,400 miles in the same amount of time it takes to fly 2,000 miles against the wind. Find the rate of the wind. Okay, this is an example where a plane's flying with the wind blowing. And we'll label our categories with the wind and against the wind. And let's see if we can figure out how far is the plane flying. It's a commercial jet, and it tells us in the problem that he's going to fly how far? When he's going with the wind, he's going to fly 2,400 miles with the wind, and against the wind, 2,000. So, and now, the rate with the wind, you've got to worry about the calm air speed plus the wind, and the calm air minus the wind. In other words, how fast he actually is flying the plane, and then what happens with the wind. And let me make a note here, x is going to be the rate of the wind, because we don't know the wind. So I'm going to let x be the wind. So, in the problem it tells me the commercial jet flies 550 miles per hour in calm air when there's no wind blowing. So if he flies 550 when there's no wind, when he's flying with the wind, if we're going to let x stand for the wind, what will we put here? 500 plus x, and down here we put 500 minus x. Now, the part of this that's tricky is in some problems you're given the wind speed or the current speed. Some problems you're given the calm air speed or the paddling speed or the motor speed or whatever in a boat. So you've got to make sure you put the x in the correct spot. Yes?
It's 550 instead of 500 for calm.
Thank you. Okay, that would have messed everything up. Wouldn't have come out nice. Okay, our time is distance divided by rate, so it's 2,400 divided by 550 plus x, and 2,000 divided by 550 minus x. 2,400 divided by 550 plus x, and 2,000 divided by 550 minus x. Now, look at the problem. What does it say about the time? Same amount of time. That means we do what with the times? The times are equal. Times are equal. So the with wind time equals to the against the wind time. What happens is that the reason the distances are different is because he can go, if he's going to travel the same amount of time, he's going to go farther when he's going with the wind than when he's going against the wind. So if we just set these up, 2,400 over 550 plus x equals to 2,000 over 550 minus x. And if you solve that, it ends up that your x ends up being 50 miles per hour. You'd have to clear fractions, by multiplying by 550 plus x and 550 minus x. And you'd end up with 50 miles per hour for x. That 50 miles per hour stands for what? What did we let the x stand for? The wind speed, and that's what they asked us to find the rate of the wind. Something you might notice in the ones where these things are equal, you could, if you wanted to, just treat it like a proportion and just do cross products. That if you did your cross product, you'll get exactly the same thing as when you clear fractions our normal way. It's the same difference. So you could just multiply across. Okay, I want you to take the next problem and see if you can set it up. We might not have time to work it, but see if you can set this one up. This one is number 6. Rowing with the current of a river. A rowing team can row 25 miles in the same amount of time it takes to row 15 miles against the current. The rate of the rowing team in calm water is 20 miles per hour. Find the rate of the current. So if you're watching the videotape, write the problem down, and then cut it off, cut the tape off, work it, cut the tape back on to get your answer. Okay, let's see if you have things filled in correctly. The hard part is the rate. You've got to make sure you do the calm plus the current. So in the problem, it tells us that the calm water speed is 20 miles per hour, and it asks us to find the current. X is your current. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to do 20 for the calm plus the current, 20 plus x, and 20 minus x. 20 plus x, 20 minus x. So it's 25 over 20 plus x and 15 over 20 minus x. And notice it says same amount of time again. So you set these things equal to each other. 25 over 20 plus x equals to 15 over 20 minus x. And if you work it out, you'll get that x is 5 miles per hour. And that's the current speed, 5 miles per hour. Cut it off because I need to go. Okay, our time is up.